G'day cheeky dogs, my name's Margie and I'm an Australian currently living in America. And today we are going to be breaking down the episode Stickbird from Bluey Season 3 Part 3, or 3C as we also like to call it. We're going to go through all the Easter eggs, Australian references, the locations, the gender role kind of swapping that happens in this. We're going to talk of course a little bit about why Bandit is sad, but I am also going to do a full theory video on that as well. And all the other just like hidden little details that maybe you might have missed in this episode Stickbird.
This episode of Bluey is called Stickbird.
Of course, if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as that bell for notifications. Guys, if we're able to reach 100,000 subscribers by the end of these 9 new episodes, I'm going to do a massive giveaway. I'm going to do 10 prizes of your choice of any Bluey items you would like from Amazon. So that's our goal, guys, to try and get to 100,000 subs. So please hit that sub button and that bell for notifications so you know when any other Bluey content comes out. Let's just start off with the why Bandit is upset. I think that there's actually a couple of really good theories as to why he is upset, and I am going to make like a very specific video about that after the Behind Bluey podcast comes out this afternoon, because I want to know what the creators and Joe Brumm want to say about it. However, I do think it's really important to note that at the end of the day, it shouldn't really matter why he is upset, because all feelings are valid, whether they are big or small. And I think that's why they left it so ambiguous, basically, and not telling us why, is because that way it's very relatable to literally anyone. Anyone can put themselves in Bandit's shoes where they have felt upset and angry and it has sort of taken over their mind. And this episode does a really good way of showing you like a coping mechanism basically for it, and how to like throw those feelings away and how to like move forward on something that is maybe taking up a lot of space in your mind that really shouldn't. Now, of course, we should talk as well about the line of when you put something beautiful out into the world, it's no longer really yours. Yeah, I do think this might be a little bit of a fourth wall break from Joe Brumm himself, talking about Bluey and throwing that out into the world and how it has been changed in so many different ways through Reddit and Bluey Facebook groups and just critics and things like that. So I do think there is a bit of a fourth wall break there. But again, I'm going to talk really in depth about that in my next Bluey theory video. Something really cool though I really want to talk about is the location for this. So it is quite obviously Curramundi Beach in the Sunshine Coast, and that kind of also links up with where they were for the episode Relax. Bluey locations over on Instagram has some fantastic photos of this. So you can see the one of the barge from Relax also matching up with the creek inlet from this episode Stickbird, as well as just like a beautiful shot by shot showing like the mangroves and the beach and how well that all matches up. Of course, we should really talk about the music as well. I definitely noticed during our live stream that I'm like, this sounds like classical music and something that I should know. And we can see in the end credits that Bach is also credited in this. And Geoff Bush himself has said that this song is Jesu, Joy of Man's Desiring. So I love again when they put in like this beautiful classical music. And again, this is like a nice follow up to the episode Relax with a simple gift in that as well. Something really cool though is Dan Brumm, who is the sound designer and voice of Stripe in Bluey, he put up an Instagram post showing how he creates some of the sound effects for this, and it's so cool to see how he does it. I'm gonna put it in a little clip here. So I love just like how much effort goes into this show of, you know, you could just use random sound bites, but they actually want to get the real life sounds of Australia in there. Now, of course, we have our very special Easter egg, which is a long dog. He is hidden amongst the sticks. It's the only stick that has like a set of legs, and when you zoom in really close, you can see the long dog. And yes, this is an actual long dog. It was confirmed by one of the animators as well over on Instagram. Now, something really cool in this is that we get some new characters and references to old characters as well. So we get 3 new little children characters, and I love just the designs on these. Everything from the fact that they all have different colored hats, but also how they're wearing their hats is all different, like forward cap, back cap, and a little bucket hat as well. 2 of the dogs also have little freckles, and we found out that one of the dogs' names is Cookie, which is just such a really cute little dog name as well. We do also see the lab, or possibly golden retriever's mum, in the background as well. She also seems to have freckles and is wearing sunnies on her head. Now, of course, when I talked about old characters, I'm talking about Mia.
I can show you a trick my buddy Mia taught me if you like.
Bluey's buddy from Barky Boats. It's so cool we get a reference to her in this episode to find out that she's the one that showed Bluey this awesome coping mechanism for when you are sad and angry at the same time. And I think it's really great because it shows a lot of like Bluey's maturity and how well like she can teach this lesson to Bingo and being an older sister for her. And of course, in the end, Bandit also ends up taking on this lesson too. Now, I did mention the gender roles before, and I do want to talk about that. So we kind of have 2 kind of like talks about gender roles in this episode. So one is of course about Bandit and his feelings, and of course it's very stereotypical that usually like men, you know, keep their feelings hidden and deep down inside and don't deal with them. It's a very old stereotype that I feel like in this day and age we're we're trying to move away from a lot. And I think Bluey did a great job of showing that. They're showing Bandit trying to deal with it in his head and, you know, trying to let it go like Chili told him to. And then at the end, him being able to let it go and feel a lot better about it and being very vulnerable with us as the audience. So I thought that was really cool. And then, of course, the second gender stereotype kind of switch was the throwing like a girl. So it shows the girls not being able to throw and then Chili kind of making a joke about, you know, who taught you how to throw. And of course, again, stereotypically, it's like the dad who would teach them how to throw and how to catch. And she asks Bandit if he wants to do it and, you know, he's not in the mood for it. So she takes on that role. She's going to teach her girls how to throw. And I think this really suits her character as well because she is a very sporty character too. Now let's talk about all the other like extra little hidden details that you might have missed in this. The first is the sticks that they initially try to throw. Those are mangrove shoots. And we can also see the mangroves in the background there as well. For those of you who don't know, mangroves are like really common, especially along the northeast coast of Australia. So again, that's another way of us being able to match up the location to be Currimundi Beach for this. Now, some of you might have noticed like the paint that looks like they have on their fur. That's actually zinc. In Australia, the sun is ridiculous. Like it will burn you in seconds. So everyone, if you go into the beach, will wear zinc. And of course, just plain like brown or white colored zinc is a bit boring. So we have all these like fluoro colors in Australia. And I love that they chose to do different colors from the initial episode Beach. We also, though, talking about Beach, see Bluey do another cartwheel here, just like she did in the episode Beach as well. We also see Chili being the one that has the crab claw and is like teasing the girls with it and scaring them with it, which is really cute. And we know we're going to see this crab claw again in the next episode Show and Tell. So I love that they're kind of like linking these episodes together. Chili's book that she's reading as well, if you zoom in really close, you can't really tell what it's about, but it does have like this big blue paw print on the front, which is a nice little dog joke. And we do also have some like Aussie hidden references in there as well. So the first one, if you zoom in onto like where all their beach stuff is, you can see the esky, but in front of it is the thongs or slip-flops, flip-flops, sandals, whatever you want to call them. But I love it. Why are there thongs there? They didn't wear them going down to the beach. Why are they there? So we've got those there, which is very, you know, stereotypical for an Aussie summer at the beach. We also have a couple of Aussie words like Bandit saying righto and mate. And I do also love that Chili calls Bandit Healer, like his last name, which is like a very sort of thing that we would do in Australia. And then of course there is the Stickbird, which is, you know, the actual title of this episode. And that was something different too, is that the title card was at the very start of the episode, which was interesting choice. And I honestly, I don't understand why they did it. I feel like they still could have done it in the middle of the episode like they do, or like just after the start. So I'm unsure as to why they did that. So let me know in that comment section down below. Why do you think they put the intro title card at the very beginning of this episode? Of course though, let's talk about the Stickbird, aka the ibis or bin chicken. I loved the little creation that they made of this in the sand and the fact that it had like a little bow tie on it made out of shells. I thought that was such a cute little detail. And the shells in this episode in general were just so beautiful and colorful. Now, speaking of the animation and also anime, I mean, the animation in this was just absolutely gorgeous. There were 5 sort of big aerial shots that we saw of them. Either they were walking or running along the beach. And then of course the beautiful end scene, which reminded me a lot of Facey Talk when we saw like the phone going up in the sky and down into the pool. Very similar. This time though, it's at the beach and we see them panning up and then going down into the ocean with the fish at the end, which at first I thought was maybe a barramundi, but I'm not really sure. And like I said, there was an anime reference in this when Bingo was like, they're my rivals. That is such a super like anime line, and I love that they included that in this as well. Now, let's talk about the kind of like lesson in a way at the end. So we see this kind of replicated of Chili telling Bandit gonna be missing out on what's going on, and then we see Bandit saying almost the same thing to Bingo as well. You're missing all of this. So I love that again, we sort of see that replication of the adults trying to deal with something, then replicated again with the kids trying to deal with something, and that sort of full circle of Bluey at the end being the one who's able to solve this problem for everyone. And I thought it was just so cute how they did like the jiggling of their ears and that we saw that again in the end credits. So overall for me, this episode, I mean, it's almost a 5 out of 5 long dogs, I would say. Let me know what you cheeky dogs would give it down below. The music was gorgeous. I love the like message of this, but how it was like a little bit ambiguous as well. So you really could insert anything into this. The location was fantastic and all the little references that we had in it were beautiful. But honestly, just the animation was gorgeous in there. So I don't know, I really loved it. And it kind of gave me a little bit of like sleepy time vibes with how beautiful the animation was. So for me, yeah, I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5 long dogs. But like I said, I will be doing another 2 videos based on this episode. So one will be all the like fun extra information that we find out from the Behind Bluey podcast, which will be out later today. And then of course, I am going to do a deep dive into the theories of why Bandit is sad and breaking down the ones that I think are the top reasons, as well as just some of the other random ones that have been out there on Facebook and Instagram and Reddit and TikTok, of course, as well. But until then, I have picked you cheeky dogs out a few other videos that maybe you would like to watch, and I will see you all in another video. Mwah! Bye!